Hello again, this is Dr. Ginger Bratzel, and we're going on to part 2 of 6 ways to increase your new patient conversions instantly. On our last recording video, we talked about phone skills and how important they are. Nobody will deny that, but some tips and skills of things to do and don't was covered in that one. So if you haven't seen that one, I'd go back. But now we're moving on to the next one. And all of these we're using potentials and opportunity and things we've already invested in to get the most out of them. So we're using leverage at this point. So the next thing we're going to talk about is our actual office, is the clinical appearance. It's one of the biggest investments we've already made in our business. We need to be utilizing it to its optimal. Once upon a time, our offices were new and fresh. Even if you moved into a brand new office, there's certain things that you need to keep going on. The patients come to us from their first encounter. It might be an advertisement that really spoke to them and talked to them and got their attention. They made some contact to make the appointment. Usually it's by the phone, so the phone skills had been excellent to keep them going down the process. Now they come in for their first visit, and what they believe should happen from their first visit, from their first encounter with you on the phone and their encounter through the marketing or the referral, and it's not happening in their office, it's an instant disconnect. So this is our first physical point of a new patient experience. There's hundreds of things people look at when they come in. We're going to cover only a short, small list of them here today. But if any of those things are not happening, they won't choose you for service. They won't know that they didn't choose you for something, but something they're not going to trust you. There's a disconnect, and they're not going to accept care. So they make an impression in 5 seconds. It's very important you make a very positive impression in the 5 seconds. Clinics should look wonderful from the inside and out. Even if you're in a group building or you're just leasing space, you need to make sure it's your responsibility to yourself and your business and to your family, because they deserve you to do this for them, to make sure the place you're working meets the specifications for your occupation. If you have a dirty parking lot, or the spaces are, the lines are not very clear, the brushes are overturned, those things are a turn off to people. It shows that you're not attention to detail. You're not going to take as much care with them. Now, they might not think it consciously, but that's on the subconscious level. So the inside and out is just important. From the second they pull off the street, that image should be there. The signage should be very clear and wonderful, the parking lot. And these things need maintenance. And I'm not talking periodically. They need daily maintenance, multiple times a day maintenance. The biggest mistake we make as doctors, we come in through the back door. We need to come in through the front door of our own office so we know what the patients are experiencing. It should feel comfortable, but it shouldn't feel residential. I saw a spa, personally, a dermatologist spa, for some elective services, and they had decorated a brand new building. It looked like my grandmother's house. It was very nice. They spent a lot of money, but it was very residential. They had little tchotchkes everywhere and candles everywhere. What point does a candelabra on the side of or 15 candelabras on the side of the wall have anything to do with dermatological or cosmetic services? The sun had actually melted the candles, and they were all warped over. They've never been burned. They were dusty. It was nasty. Even if it was a clean, brand new office, it's still not a practice. It should not be that way. But we want it clean but not too sterile. It shouldn't feel like you can't touch anything. It shouldn't be all black and white and cold. It needs to have some warmth to it, make you feel good to be there. And we want to organize but not feel like a museum. If they come through their front door and it's clean, and they go through to the reception area and they look over the desk to say that they're here to get their paperwork, to make their introduction, and there's charts everywhere. Somebody's working on something here or there. There's pencils everywhere. It should be a very clean countertop. It should be all very organized. Think of a high-end hotel. That is how our offices should run, and that's the level of expectations our customers have. Even in my office, even if my decor is not red, I have a red carpet when they first come in, because that's the start of the treatment. They're going to have a red carpet treatment. That area is cleaned several times a day. The reception area is cleaned several times a day. The bathrooms checked several times a day, because those are very public areas and they need to be kept up. And even if you have a regular cleaning service or you just built a brand new office, it still gets cluttered. You've got to keep up with that. It should also entertain the 5 senses. Of course, we've already talked about sight. What are they going to see when they come in? And people emphasize on this. Nice artwork, but if you're in a cosmetic type business, you should have some body image things. It should be a beautiful cosmetic smile. It should be a beautiful body to set those images for people. What they hear. HIPAA violations, they should not be hearing your front staff talking to another patient. They should not be hearing someone complain about a bill. They should not even be hearing the phone ring. Those things should be filtered. Make sure you have those things in place. They should not hear any clinical stuff. If I'm in a dental office, I do not want to hear a dental drill in the front. Things to soften it are, of course, the soft music. Water features, water fountains are fantastic. They're very soothing to patients. What are they touching? Are your magazines old and yucky? Is there stickiness because someone brought a kid in and they touched the countertop and you're not aware of it? Bathrooms are nasty. Even if, I shouldn't say nasty, even if they're not immaculate, they need to be immaculate after every patient. And so my staff's instructed to go through several times a day and make sure that is. Taste. People think of taste a little bit in the dental office about dental procedures, but what they taste through their olfactory. The biggest sin I see in dental and medical offices is the medical smell. Of course, we have harsh disinfectants. We have cleaning crews that use stuff. We need to be congruent on the message we're sending. It should be soothing. I will have doctors use a bread machine to give a soothing smell, even if you don't put the bread out for the patients. I know it's a big mess, but just something to mask it. Disney knows this. If you've ever been to Disneyland or Disney World, when you walk down Main Street, it smells so sweet. It smells so good. It's not by accident. They 100% plan that. Their exhaust from the bakery goes out into the street, and they also pipe vanilla out because they want to disconnect from the yuckiness of the world, and it starts there. Now, again, I told you don't go too homey. Cookie smelling, I like that too. But just some lavender's another thing. Things to disconnect that they are in a sterile healthcare type office. Make them feel comfortable. Candles are fine, but again, you have an open flame and they have to be maintained. So electronic devices that do lavender, again, I like the bread machines, the cookies, just to hide that medical smell. Check out your disinfectants you're using. Make sure you have something that's not so harsh. Also, be very aware what your cleaning staff's using. You have a choice. Make sure that it's congruent with the message. Don't let them ruin your business. You're paying them to help you. I went into a physician's office through the front door. We're doing a consultation, and right in the foyer, it was a horrible, horrible smell. Nobody in the staff realized it because they didn't come in through that door. They come through the back. Patients just disconnected. I don't know if somebody got sick there. I don't know what. There's a true story about a dentist in his cosmetic practice. He had an extracted tooth, and he had some questions about his cleaning staff. He had some problems, he felt. He hid not too hard, he just put a tooth in the reception area underneath a chair. It wasn't hidden in a corner or anything like that, and wanted to know how long it took anyone to find it, including his staff is supposed to be checking it daily or multiple times a day. It took him 2 months to find that tooth. That's unacceptable. I wouldn't have let that experiment go on for 2 months. Patients saw that. The team should have saw that. And people choose you for dust bunnies underneath your chair more than they do for your clinical skill. And that is a reality. 3 main public focus areas I already talked about the foyer, the front entrance. It should wow them, the red carpet, a clean smell, leaving the burdens of the outside world. They're rushing to come in from their appointment and to leave it all behind. So there's that visual, the hearing, taste, smell disconnect. Bathrooms should be immaculate. McDonald's is not in the food business. They're in the bathroom business. People choose them for their clean bathrooms. A very productive, lucrative McDonald's has a clean bathrooms. It just goes hand in hand. Business areas. We're all trying to do things. On the left-hand corner, that's a nice office. It's comfortable, it's clean. But if we walked over the counter to check in and we saw that upper right-hand corner, that's what's going on the other side. Charts everywhere, papers everywhere. There's no excuse. HIPAA, first of all, that's no excuse. 2, that shows them you're not organized. And if you don't have enough space to do that, you need to get the space. If you have a business area, you need to do work like that. You have to have a bunch of charts out and papers out. They need to be out of sight for patients. Even if they're walking through being transferred from point A to point B, they should never see that. The illusion should never be broken. Disney does not let you see their trash piled up. They don't let you see the reports piled up. If Disney can do it, you can do it. And the lower right-hand counter, I can't even tell you how many times typically. It might not be at the front desk, but it'll be in the back area where the staff is. It's common to look like that. They shouldn't see it. No excuse. if you need to design a new space, you need to move new space, you need to update, you need to put in some storage, you need to invest in it. You have a nice office right now. I guarantee everyone that's listening has a beautiful office, but you need to optimize it, and it takes a little elbow grease and some cleaning, okay? And get that out of there. So optimize and do this not just daily or weekly. I want this several times a day. Make sure it's always up to standards because you're showing people that you're that way. So this is our second one. We'll be talking, we got 6 total, so we'll talk in a few more, and I'll let you know the other topics that are coming up. But check out the phone skills if you haven't gone through it. And again, this is Ginger Bratzel, and I'm wishing you a wonderful day, a productive day, and take action. Make someone in your office go through and do an audit and see what patients are being turned off about right now and how you can turn them back on. Take care.